The World Peace Bell is a symbol of freedom and peace, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and inspiring our future. These powerful words reflect the vision behind the creation of the world's largest free-swinging bell. The vision is today a glorious reality, a dream which began nearly 3 years ago and then took the talents of skilled craftsmen on both sides of the Atlantic over a year and 1/2 to complete. The World Peace Bell is now installed in a gleaming glass pavilion in Newport, Kentucky, its final home. Every community has its Don Quixote, and the vision and commitment in both time and money which it took to complete this major achievement is that of Newport native Wayne Carlisle. It was Carlisle's loyalty to his native town and his driving desire to create an international icon that would identify not only his community, but also the entire northern Kentucky greater Cincinnati region, which motivated this Herculean project.
We're building the largest swinging bell in the world. And where it's going to sit will be in northern Kentucky, and actually for the metropolitan area and our growth area, it will ring out on New Year's Eve, 1999, going into 2000, for freedom and peace.
The true beginning of the story of the World Peace Bell can be traced back to 1992 as the outgrowth of a large visionary planning effort in northern Kentucky called Quest. With an eye on what in the future might distinguish the entire greater Cincinnati region, Quest Entertainment Committee identified the need for an icon of international stature and recognition, like the Arch for St. Louis, the Statue of Liberty for New York, and the Eiffel Tower for Paris. Another Newport native, David Hosea, was a member of the Entertainment Committee. Sometime in 1997, he told his friend Wayne Carlisle of Quest's dream to build a world-renowned symbol. Carlisle committed to his involvement in and support of the project. Soon, the idea emerged to build a tower of great enough height to rank as one of the world's tallest structures.
For the tower itself will be a tower of reach of about 1,000 foot tall.
While this idea was being refined, Hosea took a trip to Switzerland, where he was awakened by the sound of bells. During a transatlantic call from Hosea, Carlisle quickly agreed that bells were to be the focus of the project.
Now, we could have built a bell of 10,000 pounds, 30,000 pounds, but it wouldn't have meant anything. So to stand out, to be understood, and what it really represented was freedom and peace. We're building the largest swinging bell in the world.
It was also apparent to Carlisle that tying the project to the close of the millennium provided an opportunity to give it even greater stature and, if planned properly, garner immediate worldwide attention. One of the most prestigious bell makers in the world, the Verdon Company of Cincinnati, was brought on board as a critical consultant to the project.
When Dave first called, he said that we're interested in building a tower of over 1,000 feet and would have what significant instruments should we install, and that's when we started talking about a Carillon of 83 bells. And then we thought, let's build a bell, the granddaddy of them all, which would have been associated with the peace movement.
Once the scale of the bell was agreed upon, there were a number of technical and production challenges that had to be overcome. First, a foundry had to be located with the capability of casting a bell 66,000 pounds in weight. Of the 4 foundries in the world that could tackle a project of this size, only the Fonderie de l'Atlantique in Nantes, France, was both willing and able to do so to meet the millennium deadline. Pierre Picard, a Frenchman whose family had been in the bell-making business for several hundred years, was made part of the team in recognition of his superb craftsmanship. At this time, a large team of consultants, including architects, construction managers, entertainment developers, and market researchers, were meeting regularly to define the scope and content of the monument. The project was given much-needed direction and management when in late fall 1997, Wayne Carlisle brought on board his trusted friend and business partner, Ray Beal, president of EGC Construction Company, to serve also as president of what became known as the Millennium Monument Company. With Beal's vast experience in the building industry as well as his consummate management skills, the project had renewed focus. The collaboration between bell makers and foundry workers on both sides of the Atlantic that was required to create the World Peace Bell was unprecedented. Both traditional techniques as well as computer-aided design were used in the intricate and skillful process. Each inch of the bell's vast surface was labored over.
This moment, the temperature of the metal is at 1096 degrees centigrade.
Governor Paul E. Patton of the Commonwealth of Kentucky led an international delegation, including representatives from the French and United States governments, as well as the United Nations, to Nantes, France, on December 11, 1998. There, they witnessed the dramatic casting of the bell, when 66,000 pounds of molten bronze were poured from ladles into a huge mold. In precisely 4 minutes and 51 seconds, the entire pour was achieved. Guests stayed at a safe distance as they watched the impressive feat.
This millennium that we are completing is marked by the greatest wars in man's history. We hope we're ringing in a millennium that'll be marked by peace.
Among the Millennium Monument's guests at the casting was Benjamin Balskas, a tri-state teenager who had been recognized as having written the best essay on the meaning of peace in our times for an event organized by Southbank Partners, an organization founded by Beale to foster economic development in northern Kentucky. After waiting 1 month with anticipation and anxiety as the bell cooled down, the bell is taken out of the mold in perfect form. Additional work was required. Craftsmen carefully chipped away to reveal the exquisite designs and powerful inscriptions on the bell's surface, and then began the work of cleaning and polishing it. Lastly, a dedication to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights' 50th anniversary was added to the bell's surface, and the casting ceremony was also dedicated to this important event, which was occurring the same week as the casting. On March 20th, 1999, the World Peace Bell was unveiled at a public ceremony in Nantes, France. Again, a group of community leaders from the northern Kentucky Greater Cincinnati region traveled to France for the occasion. From the moment the bell first emerged into public view in a convoy en route from the foundry to the port of Nantes, from which it would begin its journey home by sea, a crowd gathered to witness the occasion. Their response of gasps of awe and delight once the glistening bell was unveiled was indicative of the response the bell would incite time after time. Leading the group of guests was Wayne Carlisle, the guiding force behind the creation and vision of the bell. Carlisle addressed the crowd.
Freedom and peace are important to all of us. Whenever we ring this Millennium Monument World Peace Bell, we will think of this day and of you.
On July 2nd, 1999, a delegation of almost 200, including civic and governmental leaders from the northern Kentucky region, led by Governor Paul E. Patton of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and his wife Judy, traveled to New Orleans, Louisiana. Governor Patton, New Orleans Mayor Mark Morial, and Millennium Monument Company Chairman Wayne Carlisle, as well as other dignitaries, spoke to the crowd assembled on the shore of the Mississippi River for the dramatic event.
In this century, that being the 20th century, so many people fought and died so that there would be peace, so that there would be togetherness. People who died in World War I, World War II, fights against oppression and totalitarianism, whether it was against Nazi Germany or apartheid South Africa. I think that what we really say with this bell is that we want the 21st century to be a century of great peace, of great understanding, a century that this world community will share in the fruits of the work that so many did in the 20th century to make this world a better place for us to live in.
And so as we began to unveil this monument to peace, it should be a reminder today and tomorrow and every day of this next millennium that peace is up to us and all of the people of the world. But peace is attainable.
I challenge every leader of our people, whether it's from the city and county level, the national level, or the worldwide level, to come to the World Peace Bell between now and the millennium and write the thoughts on peace in the World Peace books, to read other leaders' thoughts on peace, and to ring the World Peace Bell with me.
A theme expressed in Carlyle's speech has been a recurrent refrain in the Peace Bell's mission ever since.
To have this kind of world peace, I feel we need to write about peace, we need to read about peace, and we need to talk about peace. And we need to ring the World Peace Bell for peace.
Everyone assembled in Woldenberg Park delightedly watched as the World Peace Bell was unveiled for the first time in the United States.
3, 2, 1, 0. Wow. Nice bell. Wow.
2 days later, on July 4th, 1999, the bell was dedicated and blessed by the Most Reverend Robert W. Munch, Bishop of Covington, Kentucky, and by Father William F. Cleves, President Thomas More College. A peace prayer ceremony was led by Deborah Moldow, Director of the World Peace Prayer Society, New York headquarters. The colorful event began with a parade of flags from each of the countries represented in the United Nations. The flags were raised as Moldow prayed for peace in each country and asked the audience to join her. On July 5th, the World Peace Bell, accompanied by the Bell of Cincinnati, a 900-passenger paddle wheel boat, began a month-long voyage, capably coordinated in advance by Millennium staff member Debbie Redden. On this epic voyage, voices were raised in song and prayer. Church bells were rung and peace ceremonies were held as each of the 12 cities between New Orleans and Newport in which the Peace Bell stopped paid tribute to the bell and saluted its message of freedom and peace. After New Orleans, the Peace Bell traveled upriver to Baton Rouge, where it docked at the USS Kidd and Nautical Center. The ceremony's highlight was a 3-gun salute for peace from the USS Kidd. The city of Natchez adopted Peace Begins at Home as the theme for the visit of the World Peace Bell to their port, and the bell's reception there was one of the most remarkable.
Peace is flowing like a river, flowing out of you and me.
The highlight of the ceremony occurred when the mayor of Natchez, as well as the mayor of Vidalia, Louisiana, across the river, called for the hundreds of participants on both sides of the river to join hands in a human chain for peace. Vicksburg, Mississippi handed out fans inscribed with the words, "Vicksburg, United in Peace," the event's theme, to provide participants relief from the sweltering heat. The ceremony featured a parade of 13 peace ambassadors who were chosen from the community to represent different ethnic origins. The ambassadors, many of whom wore native dress, were of Chinese, German, Indian, Irish, Italian, Lebanese, Mexican, Native American, Pakistani, Scottish, and English-Irish descent. A handbell choir and a gospel choir also performed. "Let There Be Peace on Earth" was frequently sung as the Peace Bell made its way up the Mississippi. Yet the rendition in Vicksburg was among the most memorable.
Let there be peace on earth, and let
Memphis, on July 13th, was the only stop for the World Peace Bell in Tennessee. A highlight of the ceremony was the performance by the Peacemakers, an a cappella choir of law enforcement officers.
America, America, God shed his grace on thee.
Shelby County Mayor Jim Root proclaimed the day Millennium Monument Peace Bell Day in Memphis.
And urge all citizens to come to the Mississippi River to view this spectacular symbol of past, present, and future. And it's signed, Jim Brown, Shelby County Mayor. Thank you.
In Arkansas, the World Peace Bell stopped in Osceola. There, the banks of the river were lined with people anxious to get on board to see the bell from the time the bell of Cincinnati docked in the morning until after 9 p.m. at night, when the boat departed for its next destination. The Mississippi River heritage was a recurrent theme in Hickman, Kentucky, where one participant in the ceremony gave an impressive rendition of the Tales of Mark Twain. Amy Bondurant, the United States Ambassador to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, a native of Hickman, gave a thoughtful speech that combined thoughts on worldwide economics with fond childhood memories that were beloved by the audience, filled with family and friends. A large crowd assembled on the Paducah riverfront, which was already bustling with activity for the ongoing Taste of Paducah Festival. In honor of the occasion, July 17th through the 19th was proclaimed Festival of Peace in Paducah. Henderson was once home to the naturalist John James Audubon, as was Nantes, France, where the Peace Bell was cast. For the official ringing of the World Peace Bell in this lovely river community, the town chose to give the honor to 3 citizens: a promising youth, symbolic of the future; a charitable citizen, portraying the present; and the curator from the local John James Audubon Museum, portraying Audubon, symbolic of the past.
The Liberty Bell, which has been so important to our history.
The keynote speaker was Lieutenant Governor Stephen L. Henry.
And what we're hoping is that this bell has about the fifth of the effect of the Liberty Bell, bringing peace and the idea of peace not only to America, but to the worldwide theater as well.
The evening's entertainment was a concert featuring music of the 60s at John James Audubon State Park, where candles were lit and placed in the lake by delighted children and adults alike to conclude the concert. Retired U.S. Senator Wendell H. Ford welcomed the World Peace Bell to Owensboro on July 23rd, and Lauren Baker, a student, read quotations on peace from various world leaders.
Peace is more important than all justice, and peace was not made for the sake of justice, but justice for the sake of peace. Martin Luther.
Louisville Mayor Dave Armstrong presided over the festivities on his waterfront, for a program which attracted about 500 individuals who were given olive branches with commemorative messages. About 5,000 individuals signed the peace books during the Louisville visit. The program included a student choir, a handbell choir, and the release of peace doves. When the bell was rung for the first time, a stream of red, white, and blue confetti showered the World Peace Bell and added to the festive atmosphere. A local request brought the Peace Bell to a previously unscheduled stop in Carrollton, attracting a characteristically large and appreciative crowd to the riverbank of this small town. On August 1st, 1999, the World Peace Bell arrived home in Greater Cincinnati amidst much fanfare, including a 150-boat flotilla that accompanied the bell into town. The day was proclaimed World Peace Day by the 4 local mayors. The elaborate day-long festivities included performances by the Southbank Northern Kentucky Symphony, a parade of world flags, choral music, dance, a military salute, and a bagpipe serenade. A dramatic implosion had signaled the beginning of construction for the World Peace Bell Pavilion. A groundbreaking followed the implosion, with many local dignitaries acknowledging the importance of the event. The pavilion, as well as an adjacent building to showcase exhibits on freedom and peace, were constructed in record speed under Ray Beal's supervision in order to be complete in time for Millennium Eve.
Our mission to the architects was to prepare and come up with a design of a building that would include the architectural past of the city, the greater Cincinnati area, consider the future, of what we expected to be in the future, and to create something that our children and our grandchildren will look to and can see the vision that was put into the entire project, not just into the bell. The pavilion is really a blend of perhaps the suspension bridge, the public library here on 4th Street in Newport, Campbell County Courthouse located right across the street from which the Bell Pavilion will be built.
In November 1999, the bell was installed in the World Peace Bell Pavilion on the site of the future Millennium Monument Center in Newport, Kentucky. The stunning 54-foot pavilion, designed by NBBJ architects, who look to local and international architectural precedents for inspiration, is constructed of glass and steel.
I'm really pleased with it. It came out way past my wildest expectations, and when you see it during the day, its images are unique as the sun moves across the sky. It's a very dynamic structure. It's almost a sculpture. At night, it glows like a jewel box, with the center jewel being the bell.
Both architects and builders were conscious that they were part of a historic project.
Everybody had a lot of questions about the bell itself. I mean, 67,000-pound bell, the largest cast bell in the world. A lot of people that worked on this project thought have a part in something that unique would be just something they could tell their children, their grandchildren, and for years to come, just being a part of this project would be something special.
Tonight is the end, yet tonight is the beginning for most of us. Our end is the bell's journey to here, its final home, and our beginning is the swinging of this bell sounding the directive toward world peace.
We are here to fuse the past, present, and future with one monumental event. The World Peace Bell and the eternal flame which will accompany it stand as tribute to those who have toiled in the name of peace.
Thank you. I would love if you would join with me to sing Let There Be Peace. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Tonight we bid farewell to the old century and welcome with open arms the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. Let the pealing of this bell herald a new dawn of freedom, peace, and goodwill around the world.
We're coming up on 1 minute. Here we go. Watch the video. Discover on the button. Countdown! 26, 25, 24, 3, 2, 1. Press the button. The bell will swing. 13, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My friends, the new millennium need not be a time of fear or anxiety. If we work together and have faith in our own abilities, it can be a time of hope and opportunity. It's up to us to make it so.
Yes, the World Peace Bell powerfully expresses humankind's yearning for peace. It is the heartfelt wish of the Millennium Monument Company that the Peace Bell's inspirational message of freedom and peace will be talked about, written about, read about, and rung about. Beginning on New Year's Eve, 1999, the eve of the new millennium, the World Peace Bell will echo the pleas of individuals everywhere in their quest for peace with a forceful and unforgettable tone that will resound around the world. The Dream Bell is now a reality. And yet, as Millennium Monument Chairman Wayne Carlisle constantly reminds us, this is only the beginning. The big bronze star that was born in France represents the first step in a worldwide quest for peace and the fulfillment of the vision that when the peace bell rings with a powerful resonance, the world will listen.